Hey, what is going on, Twintendo Nation? Hope you're having an awesome day. And yeah, I'm back. I haven't made a video in a couple of days, just been a bit busy and kind of wanted a little break because I was a bit burnt out from YouTube because I've been working on the channel for about 4 months straight without a break. So just took a few days off and I've got an awesome video to come back with. Now this is about, as you can see, Xerneas, Yveltal Zygarde's potential story in Pokémon Super Mystery Dungeon. And what this video is going to be about, I'm going to be explaining the background, the backstory basically to these three Pokemon, what they're actually based off, and how it actually could link in Super Mystery Dungeon, and it does make a lot of sense. So guys, if you are hyped for this video, hit the like button before this video starts. Only the true Twintendo Nation members would do that. So, question of the day, guys. I haven't done this in ages, I keep forgetting. And this is, who is the third wheel of your team? And by that I mean, who do you have as your third member? Because for me, I normally had just my starter and myself, you know, Mulkip and Trico. For me, I never really had a third Pokemon unless it obviously, you know, you had to bring someone into a dungeon and guide them around. But I think if I had to choose, I'd probably have Grovyle, even though I kind of found it weird to have a Trico and a Grovyle on my team. But yeah, that was my third member, if you would. So what was yours? Definitely comment down below if you did have a third member, and if you didn't, feel free to comment down and let me know and make me feel like I'm not the only one. So let's go into this video. So basically, Xerneas and Yveltal and Zygarde, if you didn't know, are based off Norse mythology. Now all of this information was commented by a user about 2 months back called Beyonce. It ain't the official Beyonce obviously, but you know, that's just what they are. And it's basically, it's kind of based off the Yggdrasil tree. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. There's a lot of Icelandic terms that I'm probably going to pronounce or butcher. I'm sorry, you know, pronounce them wrong. I'm sorry about that. If anyone does speak it, you know, apologies. But basically, this is also known as the Tree of Life, and it's basically what Xerneas is also based off. Well, it's antlers anyway. So the Yggdrasil tree connects to the 9 worlds. The 9 worlds that this tree connects to through its roots. The 9 worlds aren't really too important, you know, for me to list them by name, but they could technically, you know, have some inspiration from that, you know, the Pokemon writers, and use technically some of them. So basically those 9 worlds are stuff like Asgard, basically. I think that's a land of the gods, stuff like that. If you've ever watched the film 4, it's basically the same place. It's kind of based off that mythology. So, you know, before, like, this comment was made before we knew about the 6 continents. So let's go off that. There are apparently going to be 6 continents in the game. Now, they were obviously talking about the, you know, the 9 worlds. It looks like obviously maybe these continents could be the worlds. I'm going to basically discuss that further on in the video, but they were just saying that, you know, with rescue teams region being included, and then there's obviously the possibility of explorers and gates coming back, you know, we could obviously go to all these different places, and obviously the Yggdrasil tree could be the way we get linked to those regions. Now, by the looks of it, Lapras takes us to these regions, so I don't think the tree is going to be affecting us, you know, in that regard. But there is, you know, strong evidence from trailers that there could be another world. I'm going to get onto that towards the end of the video. But basically, Xerneas is based off the 4 stags, which I'm sorry, I'm about to pronounce some stuff wrong here, but bear with me. So Dain, Devalin, Denia, and there are 4. I honestly don't know how to pronounce that because it's in a weird kind of spelling, as you guys can see on screen. But basically, they ate from the Yggdrasil tree, and they kept balance. Basically the 4 seasons, 4 elements, phases, the moon, etc. So they kept all of that in balance, and they were regarded as, you know, good creatures or good, you know, entities, whatever they are. Yveltal, on the other hand, is actually based off 2 different stories. They're both really interesting, actually. So one of the stories that is based off is the bird that sat up on top of the Yggdrasil tree, which is called Verfolna or something like that, which is quite interesting. But it also gets its themes of darkness and death from another Norse story. And this is actually a giant that takes an eagle-shaped form. Now this giant is called Reisvelg, which also translates to corpse swallower, which is pretty grim, but it also does remind me of Yveltal, you know, that really dark and death kind of Pokemon. And it sits at the end of the world and begins to flap its wings, which propels the world closer to it, which is pretty interesting, to be honest. So, you know, that sounds like Yveltal, and obviously there are people suggesting that because there are Pokemon turning into stone, Yveltal is the bad guy, but I think we actually might be missing the main point here. So just because Pokemon are turning into stone doesn't mean the Pokemon doing it, or whatever's doing it, is actually a bad Pokemon. You know, Grovyle was stealing time gears, and to be honest, when I first played Explorers, you kind of think, oh, Grovyle's a bad guy, you know, and it's going to be a final fight, but it turns out Grovyle was doing it for a just cause. We still don't know if, you know, the Pokemon that are being turned into stone are being turned into stone for a good reason, maybe to protect them. We don't know that yet, so that's something we've got to keep in mind. But yeah, Zygarde, on the other hand, let's go into Zygarde's kind of mythology. So Zygarde is based off two kind of creatures again. Now the first one it's based off is Nidhogg, which is a dragon that resides under the Yggdrasil tree and it gnaws at the fruit below the tree. And the second one it's based off is Jormungand, and that's a sea serpent that was banished below the surface of the planet by Odin, which is a god. And it grows so large that it wraps itself around the planet. So let's just think, how does this relate to Super Mystery Dungeon? So first of all, we've got the box art, which with the tree behind it does represent the Yggdrasil tree, and it also represents Xerneas. So obviously, if you watched all the trailers and you kept up to date with Super Mystery Dungeon stuff on this channel, you know you haven't seen anything of Xerneas, Zygarde, Yveltal, any of them. So obviously, let's just think of a few kind of reasons why. So Xerneas could still be in its tree form. Maybe the tree behind the box art is actually Xerneas in its form, in its like slumber form or whatever it is, its tree form, whatever. We'll call it tree form. And the thing is, they're showing Serene Village's tree a lot in, you know, you can get it in a theme, you can see it in a main menu, and I do believe that tree is actually going to be the Yggdrasil tree or Xerneas' tree form, because it does seem to be, the box art seems to be that cliff looking over Serene Village to me. So I do think there's definitely something going on with Serene Village's tree. That's probably Xerneas. Yveltal we haven't seen, but I think we have heard of, you know, with the Pokemon turning into stone. I still do think that is Yveltal. Now Zygarde's the interesting one. Zygarde, I do believe they could be going off this theory that there's, you know, another world, and that's probably where, for me, Zygarde's going to be the main bad guy, I'd say. Zygarde's probably going to have the final fight in another world, probably, and there is technically proof for this, I guess, evidence there is. We've seen in quite a few trailers Pikachu and Piplup and Pikachu and Froakie in a kind of like weird warping situation, it looks like, kind of being transported somewhere. It's really weird. So I always thought when I first saw that they're being teleported somewhere, that could actually be them going through the Yggdrasil tree and being sent to Zygarde's world, which, you know, could technically be true, because one of the worlds that the Yggdrasil tree has connected to it is actually the world of Nidhogg, who Zygarde is partially based off. So that would make a lot of sense. But guys, at the end of the day, it's only a theory, but if you did enjoy this video and you do think it is a good possibility that this would happen, definitely hit the like button. Also guys, if you haven't subscribed already, big red button on screen and down below. We're growing really fast, and we actually have, hopefully, a Japanese Let's Play of Super Mystery Dungeon coming out next week, so I hope you guys are really hyped for that. In fact, I think it's a week today, because although the game comes out in 6 days, my copy ships obviously from Japan, so it's going to take a day extra to get here, but hopefully that'll work and it'll be awesome to play for you guys. Actually, I'm technically not going to be playing it, my bro is, because I want to play the English version blind, so, you know, I'm going to have all good fun reactions with that. And yeah, also guys, if you haven't seen our 2 previous videos, they're going to be on screen right now. On the left hand side is a review by Famitsu of Super Mystery Dungeon. You can find out what score they gave the game. It's technically the first official review. Definitely check that out if you want to see what it's like, because it's pretty interesting, definitely, especially when you compare it to other Mystery Dungeon reviews. And on the right hand side guys, you can see friend areas. Are they going to be returning? Well, do you want them for a start? Basically, friend areas, if you don't know, they're from Blue and Red Rescue Team. Awesome places to store your Pokemon. Definitely check that video out if you haven't seen it. And guys, that's pretty much it. So I hope you have an awesome day. Definitely subscribe if you haven't already, and remember to like the video if you enjoyed it. And I will see you guys on tomorrow's video.